Minty.
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 It's minty.
Ew.
Got piss and cum in it.
Ew. Minty. See, we were having fun, and then you took it.
I took it to I
But
didn't mean to.
in your defense, there are fucking
You said minty.
some funny,
Mushrooms on it, yeah.
They're just mushrooms.
They're on the camera. They can see it right there on the camera.
Yeah, there's just
you got,
mushrooms.
We're not Mason's not here, so we got the 3 cameras again. We're just us in the studio. Poor Mason, our new co-host. He's already slacking on his duties. And I'm gonna call him out. I'm calling him out right now, only because we do a show together on our own.
Yeah.
And I know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I'm not even that mad. I kind of want to call him
on the show.
He went to a wedding last night, so I just want to, like, if he did get hungover, I do want to fuck with him a little bit.
Right.
But I don't know if I will or not. Can you? I get so, like, weird with glasses and the way they reflect light. Like, cause I don't. That's why I don't always wear my glasses.
Right.
These aren't like for vision or anything. These are just for what is it? The blue light blocking or whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, I understand it.
They got like the very, very slight orange tint to them. But they just help with. I only wear them really when I'm editing or anything, because when I'm staring at a computer all day, they don't do that much. But they just take some of the pressure of the screen. I got a fucking giant screen there, and so it just takes a little bit of pressure off me.
Yeah,
because my eyes are sensitive that way.
I do the phone thing, like at a certain time at night, the night mode or whatever comes on, and so the screen will go oranger, more orange. But yeah, I don't know. I probably should care more about it because I don't sleep very good at night. Probably because I stare at shit.
Did you ever do that sleep study? Did you ever go through with that?
I haven't done that yet.
I thought you had it like scheduled up, or did you just talk to someone about it?
I got my wisdom teeth removed, and then I had to wait till that was healed.
Right.
So I have to go back for another post-op thing, and then I think at that point is when we'll schedule it. And I think it'll be at home first. I don't think I need to do the full-blown, wires attached. I mean, I maybe that's what the home one is too. I don't think I need to do the full-on. It's also kind of expensive.
Yeah.
Which sucks. It sucks that, like, things that...
Is it like a doctor visit thing? Like,
you go to the hospital.
Is there some sort of, like, insurance thing you can do with it at all?
I think it's, what's it called? It's like, it sounds dumb. It's like the equivalent to, like, getting a fucking plastic surgery. It's, what's the word for it? Where, like, you don't need it.
Like Botox?
Where you don't need it, so it's
Oh, I don't know.
I can't think of the fucking word. But it's like you don't need it. You're wanting to do it. So insurance isn't going to touch any of that shit.
Usually when I go to the doctor, they're like, you need this. They don't ever say like, oh no, you don't need to do this. Because I always wait way too long before I go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Because I'm a man.
Yeah.
And I wait until I literally like cannot uncurl myself. Like I'm balled up in so much pain. Like if I can't uncurl myself like a roly-poly, that's when I get dragged to the hospital.
Right.
Like once I can no longer take myself to the hospital, I make other people take me.
Yeah, you go to the hospital.
Yeah. And then they go, you need this done. And I go, okay, sure, whatever you say.
Yeah.
Mr. Dr. Fauci. Just joking. No, but I do want to talk. Do you have something else you want to bring up?
Go for it.
Well, I mentioned Fauci. I don't know why it made me think of this. Just government stuff. But I do want to say this because this happened last night, literally. I saw this at like 12:45 last night, and this morning, I guess, on Reddit. And this is Saturday, but it doesn't matter. I was just talking about her earlier in the day, which is weird. Well, synchronicity. The senator, Dianne Feinstein, and I was just talking about this because I've been listening to a podcast about the dead Kennedys, and they're from San Francisco, and at the time, Dianne Feinstein, who has just recently passed away, she used to be the mayor of San Francisco, and then from like 92 to 2 days ago, she was the California senator, one of the California senators, Democrat, which is funny for her. like being a liberal on the liberal side.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so she died. She was 90 years old. It was the whole thing of like everyone for the last like 5 years was like, retire already.
She was 90.
She was 90 years
making
old.
some pretty important decisions and votes and things.
She was trying to.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, does she really have the capacity to do that?
I have a lot I could say about Dianne Feinstein, her whole history, her whole career, but I'm not. I'm going to try and be respectful. I get a little bit crazy on the show, and we're starting off. I want to get nice and,
It's the Mellow Brick Road.
I just don't want to. Too much hate. I've been hating too much, and I got to pull it back. I got to start loving again. So I'm just going to try and be as loving as I can with this. But, so, she died at 90. All I'm going to say is, in that time that she was the mayor, women were not, they were expected, let me rephrase that. Women were raised in that time to be housewives and mothers.
Mm-hmm.
And not even only that, they were like, it was like a forced expectation almost that's what you women were going to do. No jobs, just like housewife, mother, that's it. Maybe secretary, maybe one of those women that like does the phone plug-in thingies, and she like
the operator.
1 second, I'll get you to New York.
Yeah.
And she boop boop does that thing.
Please hold.
And she had to fight and claw her way to the position she was in, and nobody wanted her in that position. No one did.
You're giving her a little bit of credit.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
absolutely.
As a woman, like at that time, like it's incredible what she was able to achieve. And again, no one wanted her in that position. No one wanted a woman in that position, at least. That is, until they all realize how like that she's just as greedy and corrupted and likes fucking over the poor and disenfranchised as much as all the men were.
Yeah.
So they were like, all right, Dianne, you're pretty cool. We'll keep you going. And it's now that I thought about it, now that she's dead, because I was one of those people that were like 90 years old.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck out of
That's
here. But
ridiculous.
it's like, you think about it from that perspective of her at that time, it's no surprise at all that she would have this attitude of like, take it from my cold, dead hands, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I worked so hard for this. I'm not just going to give it up
because
you say I'm old. Especially calling a woman like her old, and they, women don't like their ages being out there.
Yeah.
So she's like, fuck you, I'm still a big fucking Biden or Trump. Those motherfuckers are old. All the McConnell, all those fuckers are old.
Trump was older than I realized when he was the president.
Yeah, and everyone's like, oh, Sleepy Joe, and I'm like, he's like a year. He's like like Biden's a senior, Trump's a sophomore, maybe a junior. Realistically, though, at that age, he's probably like a middle schooler. But
the difference in them two is bigger than that. Yeah.
But so this whole thing with Dianne just reminds me of a little saying. 90 is a good age to die. 65 is a good age to retire.
Yeah,
that's what I'd say.
That's just pretty fair, and that's kind of standard anyway. I mean, you don't have to, and a lot of people can't.
Yeah.
But she could.
I mean, man, it was like the last like 6 months, a year, where she was like gone for most of the time during like votes, and everyone's like, it's just like she wasn't there.
How does that work?
She was like in the hospital or whatever, and then when she like comes back, or she's like bedridden or whatever, and then she comes back and she doesn't know what's going on. Clearly, it's like McConnell right now freezing all the time. He doesn't know what's going on.
Those clips are so weird.
Like and then like they'd come back and they're like, Dianne, how come you weren't like in Congress doing these votes? And she was like, I was. And then everyone's like, no, you weren't. No, you weren't. We know you weren't because we know. And it was just like, that's weird. But I don't know. It's just, it's sad that she's dead. Am I glad that she's dead? I'm not going to answer that question. Nice try, Mr.
Yeah, you usually answer it before you
Sophomore.
ask.
I know, right? Hey, restraint.
Yeah.
Showing restraint because this woman has died.
Is her husband still alive?
Who fucking cares about that piece of shit?
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought.
We're not here for him.
Right.
We're here for her.
Yeah.
And it sucks. It just sucks that, like, she was in such an amazing position as a woman, and she was just really greedy about it. I mean, she did a lot of great stuff, but she was no Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Yeah.
By no means at all. She was a woman in a high office, which is dope for women. It's awesome. But what she did with that power, sometimes, I don't know her whole career, but sometimes, especially when she was mayor of San Francisco. Yeah. I mean, the dead Kennedys didn't just write California Uber Alles for nothing. They didn't just write all that music because nothing was going on in San Francisco because everything was so nice.
Yeah.
People were getting thrown out of their fucking homes. Yeah. But We're gonna
We
move on from that now.
digress.
We're moving on from that. If you want to look up more Diane stuff, that's fine.
I-
You do it on your own. I'm just saying, she's passed.
Uh huh.
I feel like everyone's been like, not like waiting for this, but it's almost like when you have a dog that's like on its way out, like 16,
Yeah.
17 years old, and then you're like, in the last few years, you're like seeing they can't walk that well and can't
Yeah.
really eat and
Just
all that,
getting worse.
and you're just like,
the
I
eyes
don't,
start
and you're
to.
like, it makes you sad, but you're also like, at some point, like you have to come to the realization, like this dog's not gonna last forever,
Yep.
and that's, none of us are gonna last forever, so you have to just kind of come to that point,
Right.
But then it's like, when do you tell someone, like, hey, you're not gonna last forever? Not like a dog who's just like trying to keep going. Like when you go to a person and you're like, hey, you're 90 years old. You can't. We take people's licenses away.
Yeah. And
Take the job away.
unfortunately, we usually do it after something bad has happened.
That's what humans always wait until it's like an actual problem.
Yeah,
Like they see it growing. They see the problem growing. Nothing's happened yet though.
Yeah.
And then once the balloon pops, then we come in and we go, okay,
Right.
let's back up. Let's reassess. And then we come up with all these rules and regulations, and we're like, next time, we got it covered.
We're much more reactive than proactive. That's the thing.
Yeah.
We usually react to something happening rather than. That's crazy. Small plug. You should watch What You're Reading, because I have a book that jumps on that exactly.
Oh, when we get to What You're Reading, the September episode, I got another book that also can. I was thinking of Diane while I was reading it.
Yeah, got to come to the Patreon. You were so close. Joe Biden is 80. Trump is 77. So you almost nailed it.
Oh yeah, I knew that. I knew they were close.
I didn't think they were that close.
The whole argument against like Biden being old always drove me crazy because he is old.
They're all fucking old.
Trump is also old. Yeah, they're all old.
Besides
that's the thing.
Obama.
The Republicans okay. Let me back up. I'm getting hot.
Ooh,
Hang on.
We're testing you today.
I'm just people in general on both sides. They always make that argument because that is something to. Are you done fucking with your mic now?
I'm trying so hard. It's too straight. It's wanting to be loose. Okay. It was wanting to be loose.
Yeah. I don't know. They're all old, and that argument is valid. Clearly, as we've seen from Feinstein, McConnell, all this stuff, but it's always used as a way of like, you're old, and it's almost like you're saying, I'm not old. But it's like, yeah, you are. You're both old.
Yeah.
So I don't. Why are we? Everyone hates old people. I don't hate them, but they complain about them because they're old. They can't. I mean, shout out the old people. Get ready. Like the driving gets worse. The thinking gets harder. Their memories get hazier. Speech is tougher. Like all these things. You can't move around as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then. Like you're basically like you're a human on their way out, right? You're nearing your expiration date, and like here's my thing: if you had a jug of milk, and it expires in like 2 days, on the thing you smell it and it doesn't smell quite right, like you're like this might already be going bad. Would you put it in your milk, in your cereal?
No, I'm pretty
cautious you might be okay,
right?
But you might also get really sick.
Yeah, it's just not worth it.
That's
a good point.
That's my solution to the American political system right there.
If they stink too much, get rid of it.
You'd have to gut the entire fucking D.C., man. You'd have to move the capital to their fucking state.
Pour them down the drain.
We have to move the entire country, or the entire like capital out of D.C., bulldoze the entire state, and then try and like rebuild it somewhere else. Because like it's like at a point now where like, what do you do to fix anything? Anywhere. Everything's so, and it's like, yeah, as much as I want to like anarchy and like, you just fucking destroy it all, burn it all down.
Yeah.
As fun as that would be at the start, there's no, like, okay, so what do we do now?
Yeah.
It's almost like you want, like some people, like I've said it before, where it's like, you almost want like a nuclear apocalypse because you want to like, you send humans back to like the Stone Age, like they say is going to happen in World War III. Like humans will survive. I'm very confident that like even if like 500 humans survive a nuclear event, like they'll survive,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how long it'll be before it grows, but like I think humans are extremely adaptable. I don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want the new system without the collapse of the old one.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
You wish you could
that's what
just
everyone wants.
fix
You wish
it.
you could just fix it like a loose bolt. You just kind of tighten it. and You're like, oh, all
Yeah.
fixed. No, the whole it's almost like the whole plumbing is fucked.
Yeah.
Like
It's like, no,
you're
we're gonna have to
leaking-
dig up all the
no,
pipes.
Your pipes are leaking underneath your yard.
Yeah.
Like they're leaking in the ground.
Yeah.
That's why there's like water coming up. Like that's your pipes. Like it's something got fucked up.
Yeah.
A long time ago, and it just never got addressed.
Yeah.
And now you got to move.
That's a really good metaphor for it because we live in, small town America where literally that's how they built sewage pipes and water pipes. They're just like, it works right now.
Yeah.
There was no thought of like, will anybody be able to find where these
What
are?
about what about
did
50
anybody
years
draw
from now?
a map of it?
This is the Declaration of Independence. It works right now.
Yeah.
But like 200 years from now.
Well,
I mean, hey, we're almost. You know what's weird? I was thinking about this with Mason the other day. We were talking about it. We're close to 2026. That's 250 years.
Wow.
And we're getting close to like a milestone. I feel like so.
Didn't
Curious to see how that works out.
Didn't Jefferson or somebody that was there say this should be edited like every 20 years or
Probably.
10 years, whatever he said, like to reflect? He probably said it more eloquently, but
Yeah.
said something like it should reflect the time. Like even then, he was like, things could change.
Yeah.
I can't think that far ahead. It's amazing that some people can. And
Some
we're
people,
in a different.
Some people think so far ahead of the curve that it actually hurts them because they
Yeah.
can't. They're trying to like beat the curve,
Mhm.
and they're actually so far ahead
Yeah.
that like
People are
what
like,
they're doing, they're never gonna bank on. But then as soon as it collapses on them, that's when it starts up for everybody
Yeah.
else. It's like it's one of those just weird
and we're at
things.
we're at a point now where like everything's growing so exponentially that like we can't even think far ahead because of that. Like we're already so far ahead.
Yeah.
Like back then they're like nothing's going on, but they're like, man, if I just had a way to get around faster. Like they would say something like that. Man, if we could just it takes so long to get to that building.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, yeah, what are we gonna do about that? I guess we'll walk.
And the aliens come down. They're like,
Oh yeah, that's
"We
right.
got you.
Yeah, we'll
we
take
can
care
do
of
it."
Get in this small silvery.
What if you just took 300 years of time and just extended it and pretended like all these things happening at the same time were actually hundreds of years apart all across the globe? That way you can take full control. And then you can pretend like you've always been in charge.
I like how you did like a 1950s alien voice.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's my
'cause
favorite. That's
yeah,
the best. The
I mean,
Greys,
that's
man. Little Greys.
yeah.
I could do like from Mars Attacks. You ever seen that movie?
No, I don't.
You
Is
never
that
seen
the
Mars
weird
Attacks?
cartoon
The
one?
Tim
Or-
Burton. That's the Tim Burton one with the big
brain
brains.
head?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jack
okay.
Black is the
I don't
Jack
know
Black
if
is
I've
a
seen
soldier. Jack Nicholson is the president.
It. Oh god.
Oh, dude, that movie's
Jack
so
Nicholson.
good. I can't believe you've never seen it. Mars Attacks.
Talking about another fucking old guy is Jack Nicholson. But like, what's funny about
he
him?
is old.
He's like, I'm still gonna go to Lakers games. I'm just gonna not comb my hair. I'm gonna not wash my face. I'm gonna wear sweatpants and
That's the thing. The old
Th-
people. Once
do
you get to
that.
old people, they don't give a fuck about the rest of
Yeah,
us anymore.
just-
Because they're like I'm
yeah,
I'm almost done.
yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Oh, you want
But
me to
like,
you want me to look nice and like and not say like racist things?
yeah,
Not saying that Jack Nicholson does that. I'm just saying in general, old people do that.
yeah.
And like and you're like you can't do that. And they're like fuck you. I've been around for 90 years. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And you're
Yeah.
like, but like no, you can't, because you live in society.
Yeah, you're
like,
still a
you're
human
old,
with us.
But like the whole thing of like I understand in like hundreds of years ago in like Native American cultures where like the elder of the tribe, right? He's the wise one,
mm-hmm.
but like he was 47,
Yeah,
right? We live much longer and we have many more old people.
right?
Because now everyone gets old. It's not just like, oh, most people die at like 36, but like,
Yeah.
some people get to like up to their 40s, 50s, 60s. No, all of us survive now until like our mid 90s. Which
yeah,
is like
I would say your regular life expectancy or your average is what, like almost 80?
I feel
It's
like
gotta be
I
almost
feel like the
80.
life expectancy they give us, like the rates where it's like average 74. I feel like that's without any medical help, right? Any medical
just-
assistance.
Yeah,
It's like, yeah, you die at 74 unless you had like a heart attack at 60, and we
Mhm.
started giving you a bunch of medication, and like which helps, because then it's like if you didn't take those medications and you just kept eating meat and like doing whatever you were doing, yeah, you'd probably die at a certain age.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know.
I just don't understand back. We kind of keep jumping back and forth, but like I don't understand the desire to be that old, and are they that fucking greedy in politics that like they cannot give up the gambit of like I gotta fucking win. I gotta. It's like
I think it's one of those. I think it is one of those things though, where like you do work really hard for a position, and you're like,
Yeah,
I don't want to fucking
I
leave.
don't
This is my
understand that.
job.
I have respect for that, but
Right. But also, but it's like you retire. It's also one of those things too, where you're like a workaholic, even though it doesn't seem like a lot of people in Congress are workaholics.
yeah,
You retire, and then you're like, what do I do all day?
yeah. I was getting ready
But
to say,
like, you just live your life.
yeah, I was gonna say go play golf, but like most of them already do that instead of being
I mean,
doing what they should be doing.
like you could join a fascist government. Go fucking donate to a Nazi. Like you can do whatever you go plant a tree.
You could do a
You could
lot
do a
of
lot.
things
Go travel the world.
that don't influence large groups of people at the same time.
Yeah, you don't have to
Like,
be influential.
I don't understand the desire to still be in the game. I'd be like, all right, I did my part, and I'm done now. But
No, that's the thing.
they
No,
don't-
because that's accepting defeat. It's accepting death.
I guess
People don't like accepting death. If,
Yeah,
if
but
people
like you
if
just
people
said,
were
I'll
if
just go
people
live
were
my
okay with
life.
but your job is your life. That's your identity. It's your
But
being in Congress. That's your community. People know your
guess.
name there. Then you get if you retire, then you're stuck at home with that bitch of a wife, and she's always on your ass because you've been such a dickhead the last 20, 30 years while
Yeah.
you were in Congress,
God, my wife sucks.
and
It's
now
like,
you
yeah,
have
'cause you're
no
an asshole.
excuses, and you just have to sit there and you watch because then you become sheep. You become part of the people.
Mm-hmm.
When you're up in the government, you're not part of the
You're
people.
fucking wolf.
You're not part of it. You have to move back. Think about it. You're in fucking DC sucking off all your buddies all day, and then they're like, "Hey, you got to retire. You got to move back to Missouri on your family farm that you haven't been to in like 10 years since you bought it."
Truman did it.
But yeah, true. But like that was also pre a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that was pre-internet and
yeah. So they make all these things to like distract us and keep us like idle and
yeah.
like not paying attention.
Yeah.
So they don't want to fucking jump down in that.
Yeah.
Because they know what it is. They know the evils they put on us.
Yeah,
And then they're like, I gotta go down there.
They created the mess. They don't want to fucking jump in the middle.
Yeah. Now it's like they get too old, and you're like, see ya. Down
Yeah.
to the trash with you.
They're like, look at all those
'Cause that's
people
what we
drowning.
That's what we do with old people. I go. It's so weird with old people because I know once I'm old, if I get to that age, I'm gonna be like that. Like, I'll fuck you. I can do whatever I want. I've
Yeah.
been here a lot longer.
Yeah. Seniority, motherfucker.
But like, when there's absolutely no conscious effort to like make things better for the next generation, because that's the whole point. That's what humans are supposed to do. We live our lives, and then we have a next generation coming up, and we raise them to continue on.
Mm-hmm.
But if we like fuck around with like Reaganomics, we're listening to a lot of Dead Kennedys, fucking Reaganomics, trickle down economy. If we start fucking around with that stuff, that doesn't actually, it only hurts future generations. Now we're where we're at,
Mm-hmm.
and now a lot of people are looking like our age and younger, are looking around, going, "The fuck am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
I don't know what to do. There's nothing. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't. There's no way to do anything."
Yeah, but it's our fault. It's like, no, it's your
No,
fault. 'cause
you
didn't
fucking raised us.
Yeah.
That's
you
what I said to
created this world.
Kids today. I'm like, you fucking raised the kids
you
today.
made
Oh,
them.
kids are always on their iPads. It's terrible. They don't want to read books. You fucking gave them that iPad when they were 2. You fucking did that. You didn't have to do that. You could have given them books, you idiot. You were tired of them crying because you wanted to go on your iPhone. You wanted to look at your iPad and look at your fucking bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
You wanted to fuck around on your technology, and the kid wanted food or milk or wanted to hang out with you or talk to you or fucking just scream like kids do. And instead of like engaging with your child, you just slid them over a fucking black brick thing, and then you were like, okay, go in the corner and shut the fuck up. Leave me alone. I don't know. I go back and forth. These fucking cell phone things. No one even cares about iPhones anymore. You hear the
I
iPhone.
broke mine recently.
Apple keeps going like lower sales every year. The new iPhone gets like lower and lower sales. And it's like, yeah, no one wants to buy an iPhone every year. For like 7 years, we did that.
Yeah.
Because it was fun. It was new. It was
Yeah,
exciting.
it was fun.
And then everyone realized Well, I think it was at one point when they realized that Apple was fucking with the batteries of the older phones, right, or something like that. Weren't they
Yeah.
so it was almost like it was forcing you to get the new one,
Well,
right? Wasn't that a thing?
yes, it's just it the way they were doing it. I watch a guy on YouTube that's a tech nerd, and I cannot even think of his name, so I apologize. Marquise.
Mm.
Marquise Brownlee or something like
Sure.
that. He's a tech guy,
I'll put it up.
and I just watch him because he's entertaining, and I don't know that much about tech, and he does a good job of like simplifying it.
Mm.
Like he'll just do a review of like an electric truck, and he won't like kiss ass because
Yeah.
they gave him one to drive or he got to go to this event. He'll just be like, "This is good. This is bad. You do the rest.
tells you
If
how
you
it
want
is."
it, you can have it."
Yeah.
But he's really cool, and he was talking about that iPhone battery thing where it was like older models couldn't handle the newer updates or something, so Apple would put it in a certain state where the battery would not deteriorate, that's not really the right word. It would hurt, it would bring down the total like battery level or whatever
because it's working so much harder.
because it's doing other things to
Yeah.
like keep up. But the problem was in that Apple didn't tell anybody that was happening.
That's what it was. Yeah.
So it was the right thing to do, but they didn't tell people, probably because people would have been like, "Oh, they're fucking hurting our batteries." So,
you
but
didn't like exactly what happened.
yeah, that's what I mean. But then
But
they
hey,
didn't tell anybody. People found out, and then they're like, "They're fucking hurting our batteries without telling us."
But now, universal USB-Cs. Now we have universal, because then
that is a good move.
You get them on one thing where you're like, "Are you fucking with the batteries?"
Yeah.
And then once you open that, the same thing with COVID. Once you like open that door where you're like, you find like it's like government conspiracy. Like when you find like one fact, even if it's not like that malicious,
Mm-hmm.
it almost gives people like free reign to like open up your whole door.
Yeah.
Let's see all your skeletons, and then like fucking selling then they started selling the chargers in different boxes. And
Yeah.
they started the headphones and
then you had all
these, and that they changed the cord, and then oh my god, it was all that shit was going on.
Everybody's
in,
like, "Where's
Europe.
the wired headphones?" And they're like, "We don't do wires anymore. You can put these in your ear, and if they fall out, sorry." And
I
it's like,
hate AirPods.
Yeah,
I don't
do the
hate it. I
AirPod.
still do. I will never buy an AirPod.
uh-huh.
I don't like them. They don't
I
fit my
got
ear
a-
right. They're not universal. It's bullshit.
I have a like a knockoff one where I
Yeah.
graduated college. They were like, "Fill out this survey, and we'll send you free headphones and a beanie." And I'm like, "Fuck yeah!"
That sounds pretty sweet.
So I did it, and they're off-brand. They don't last very long.
Did you get the beanie?
I did get the beanie, but
Nice.
it's kind of small.
Ah, that sucks.
So I think Macy could wear. It won't fit on my head. Maybe now that my hair cut. Maybe now that I got my hair's cut, it'll.
Yeah, you used to have that big afro.
Yeah, when
It made it hard to wear hats.
Yeah, and then when I got into the powdered wigs, I was into that.
You liked the powdered wigs. I don't know what your deal with that, because I was like, you're not even like a judge.
It made me feel taller. I liked
Yeah.
the height.
It kind of gives you like a nobility look to you as well. So it kind of changed when you're walking down the sidewalk in a powdered wig. People do look at you different.
Yeah,
They're
good or
almost like-
bad.
They think you're judging them always. That's the problem with it. I
I-
think everyone's always like confessing to things to you.
I saw a thing that people used to wear that because they were fucking riddled with like STDs, and so they would get like sores on their heads and stuff, and so they
Oh.
would start wearing them or something like that. It was like
Huh.
a certain STD that
I could see that.
where they were like people got like sores, and they're like, "Oh, we got to do something."
Jesus.
And I don't know why they landed on white powdered tall wigs.
Racism.
Is it?
I don't know.
Probably.
White. Just white. That's the only word I heard, and I was
Yeah.
like, racist. They're racist. Well, all those people back then too. Most of them are racist. If you're wearing a power, well, that was Britain that does that. Wait, does the
saw-
U.S. do that? Did the U.S. judges wear
Why does Britain still do it?
Yeah,
The
they
US
do that,
is
They do
done.
that in Parliament.
The
They do. The British government does that in
Yeah.
Parliament too.
like full on.
That's like a tradition thing. But
That's
the thing.
fine.
That's weird because they're hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old, right? So it's weird for us maybe, but for them it's so like they've probably been doing that since the 1200s, right? How weird is that?
hmm
So I wonder. It makes me think like, what kind of tradition, like American traditions, are there? Because we can't do lynch mobs anymore. You know, that was an American tradition.
hmm
We can't. Hitler Youth doesn't exist anymore. Let's see. What's an American tradition besides those two things? Like toxic nationality
Mm-hmm.
and hating black people to a point where people want to murder them. What other American traditions are there? Corn,
Baseball.
baseball. We got baseball, racism,
American
and
Pie.
anti-Semitism.
Yeah, we're fucked up. So this says that wigs were originally worn to hide effects of syphilis.
I was gonna say syphilis, but I wasn't
didn't-
sure
yeah,
if
I
syphilis was the right, because back then everyone had syphilis.
Is that what that was?
Al Capone?
Al Capone.
He died
He
babbling
was-
like a fucking loony, man.
Yeah, had the mind of a 4-year-old. If you don't know that, look it up.
Dude.
Al Capone died as like
Syphilis
extremely riddled with
syphilis just like
syphilis.
sits in you, and then at a certain, the longer it's in you,
It's like
your
it got
brain,
stronger.
your brain just like becomes
Just like
mush.
melted his
It
brain.
is syphilis is a scary STD.
Yeah, but so this also says that it said obviously hiding early balding.
Yeah.
Just because of that was another like image thing that people wanted to seem important.
I bet this came around during the Victorian era of the UK,
Uh-huh.
of like the British Empire, because it's very Victorian. It's very like Queen Elizabeth. It's very at that time of that time. So I feel like it probably came around that time. Hey, while you're looking that up, I just gotta say real fast to the people, welcome to the show. This is Mellow Brick Road. We have not. I might just cut this out and put it earlier in the show. But
The power of editing.
I'll just say right now, hi, welcome to the show, Mellow Brick Road, path number 68. Hello, I'm Van. How's it going? You can follow me on Instagram at Van Windsor. Sitting next to me, the host with the most.
Yeah, I'm Trace.
It's Trace.
And you can follow me at TW Projects
on Facebook.
There's something in the works right now. This is super exciting. That goes along with the Beauty Will Save the World campaign.
Ooh.
I don't want to go full detail yet because not everything has happened. Like I said, things are in the works, but I don't know how much I will share, but just know that there's a lot of happiness going on.
All right.
For my part.
Sweet.
I don't know if it'll.
That's good to hear.
I don't know if it'll translate so much to TW Projects, but it goes along with that. The Beauty Will Save the World stuff, and there's a lot of cool stuff going on that we will get into more detail after we're done with the intro.
Okay. Well, that's the end of the intro. Hi, welcome to the show.
Yeah, the last thing said that it goes back to what we were saying earlier. It made people appear older, because getting older was like a sign of, oh, this fucking guy. Just like how people used to be heavier because
everyone else was starving.
Yeah, everybody else was starving.
So the kings were like, that guy's fat as fuck.
He's doing well.
I want to jump on his bones.
He's got some wrinkles, and his belly's big, and his fucking hair is white.
He eats well. He's got good health.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that's it. That's all you need.
I feel like we're in a funny political channel, so we're gonna we took a trip recently.
We did take a trip recently. We went to Ohio. Which mellowbrickroad.podcast@gmail.com. What's in Ohio?
Yeah.
Besides Dave Chappelle, that's all I know about Ohio. I know there was KKK there. But again, I learned that from Dave Chappelle, so I don't really know if I can. I mean, I don't know. I didn't see any while I was there.
So we drove to Ohio and back, and it felt like we drove in Missouri. It felt exactly the same to me.
Dude, driving across this entire fucking country, it all looks the exact same.
Yeah.
Until you get to like certain like the desert part or like the deep south or the like northeast.
Yeah.
But like everything else, like it just looks the same.
Yeah.
Montana, I mean, there are small differences,
right?
Obviously, but like small towns in America, all small towns,
all the same.
If they're in the desert, doesn't matter. They're all the exact same.
All the exact same.
The people are maybe a little bit different because desert people are scary.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, they're all the exact same of every small town I've ever lived in.
The main street looks exactly the same. But there'll be like one little funny thing. It'll be like, oh, look at this giant, pig statue.
They've all got their little quirks.
Funny.
Like Shobana's got their wax corn candle thingies that they make. Whitefish, Montana has huckleberry smoothies.
Right.
It's huckleberry everything in that fucking town. You know what's not in that town? Huckleberry berries.
None.
Nah,
Huh?
probably. And then everywhere has their own little quirks that make them different.
Mm-hmm.
But like, yeah, generally they're all pretty much. I could walk. I feel very comfortable in small towns.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like I could walk around anywhere, and I could move in and immediately be like part of the community.
You know, I feel like I talk about this a lot now, and maybe not on the show. Remember in Without a Paddle, they stop and in that little town.
The corner of bumfuck, and you got a purty
Yeah,
mouth.
corner bumfuck, and you got a pretty mouth. And it's funny that they're like, they feel so out of place. Because I'm like, I've been to that town.
Yeah, I've been
like,
there.
I've seen that town 10 different times.
Yeah.
Like, not literally, I've never literally been to wherever they filmed that, I don't think. But like, it looks like all the other towns I've ever been in.
Like I could walk up to anyone and start having a conversation easy.
Yeah.
Oh, how's your day going?
Oh yeah.
But like in a big city, it's a little bit different. Only because everyone is, it's cities have a weird thing where it's like there are so many people.
Yeah.
Like when you're in a small town, less people, it gets lonely.
Mm-hmm.
When you're in a big city, it's like there are so many people that aren't paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
You feel lonely.
It's lonely. Yeah.
It's just as lonely, but it's a different kind of lonely because it's not that you're being ignored,
Mm-hmm.
but you are.
Yeah.
Because everyone's got their own. Because there's
Like
so many people doing their own thing.
Yeah.
In a small town, that's why like people in cities, like they come to a small town, they go, everyone's waving at me. And it's like, yeah, they don't see
Yeah.
many people. Like they don't see that many people that often. So everyone just like, hello, good to see you.
Yeah.
But like in a city, you see so many people. You're not gonna wave at every fucking person you see.
I've never really thought about the direct opposite of, if you like, you have to wave. You don't have to, but like it's expected. Like if somebody doesn't wave, you'd be like, what the fuck?
Dude, all right, asshole.
But or even just, I do a lot of nodding. But
Yeah.
if in like the city, like if you're going out of your way to just talk, and not always, but in most, like on the train or just out and about, like if you're talking to somebody, that's rude. In a small town, if you aren't talking to somebody, that's rude. I've never really thought about how those are opposite.
Well, in a city, you could.
And we've never
you could
lived
be
in
like,
a city, but
you could fall down on the crosswalk.
Yeah.
And people will walk over you.
Yeah.
Right? Like they don't.
I gotta go to work.
It's not like, yeah, exactly. It's like, it's one of those things where
I'm
like
meeting somebody for lunch.
and it's not like an asshole thing, but I think it's where people, like small town people, get confused with city folk is because it's just a different dynamic socially.
Yeah.
Like socially, it is extremely different area. That's why like I always get mad at Dad when we go somewhere with like more than a 4-story building.
Yeah.
Because he just like, oh, what's going on? Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm gonna go talk to this guy. Let's go talk to this person. I'm like, don't look.
Yeah, they have no desire to talk to you.
Yeah, you are like, they are not wanting to talk to you.
Now, having said that, and Dad included, I've had some incredible conversations
True.
with, like when we went to Pittsburgh. I swear to God, it was Mark Twain reincarnated, sat by us, and we had a great conversation. But that's a little bit different deal. We were at a bar.
He looked like Mark Twain?
Yeah.
Was it Albert Einstein?
I don't know. They maybe had a kid together or a clone. Maybe Albert Einstein cloned himself and Mark Twain. It was kind of a hybrid.
Together?
Yeah.
So you get like the brain.
He had 3 arms. But his mustache was fucking
Well, he got
awesome.
Albert Einstein right there. 3 arms from Albert Einstein, obviously.
No, it was funny that he sat next to us because we're in the middle of Pittsburgh, and he had, like, of all the times we're an hour away and people don't know where we're from when we tell them, this guy was like, oh yeah, I've driven right through that.
That's always fun.
And it wasn't like he was pandering, because he was like, oh yeah, it's just like you go through this town and then this town, and you're like, yeah, fuck, you do know where we're at. Like, that's we're in Pittsburgh.
But Dad is really weird. Actually, you know what? We're all like that. We're really weird about going to, like, the most random areas of anywhere, and we meet one person or a family or whoever, and they're from fucking, like, Chillicothe. Yep. And we're like, how the fuck?
Yeah, they're from, like, an hour radius of us. Remember when we went to Pensacola and we ran into somebody we knew?
We were in Chicago at a comedy show with 5 people in the audience, including us.
Yeah.
3 of those people were from, like, the St. Louis area.
St. Joe, I think.
St. Joe.
And we were like,
and we were like, There's 5 people in Chicago. We're in Chicago.
Yes.
We're in a very famous comedy club. Not a very famous room.
The Lincoln Lodge.
The Lincoln Lodge,
kind of a side room.
Very famous.
It was
famous
awesome,
historic
it was so
comedy
cool.
club.
And
Lincoln
we've
Lodge
talked
is the
about
best. But the show we were going to see was in the smallest room of the space because it was like a newer show, and
yeah, they were kind of ironing out.
Yeah, and there were 5 people in there. Me and you, one dude by himself, and then a family of 3, a mom, dad, and a daughter.
So there were 6 of us.
Is that 6? Math. And
3 and 3 is what I did.
Math is hard, even the addition.
It's been a while.
And yeah, they were like, "Oh, where are you guys from?" And they said St. Joe, and we were like,
Missouri?
Missouri, hi, right here. And they're like, "No way." We're like, "Shalbina?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
Like, okay, Jesus, how do you know that?
Yeah.
It was the strangest shit ever.
So bizarre. But so we went to Cleveland, which I'd never been to.
Oh right, we were talking about Ohio.
We went to Ohio, and I didn't realize Cleveland was on the lake. I love the Great Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
Because now I've been in Chicago and I've been in Cleveland, and
They're crazy.
I'm
to
assuming
look at.
those are different lakes, but like
they
have to be.
I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not even gonna say anything.
You're just gonna put up a map slowly.
Yeah, I'll just put a map because I don't want to.
But it was interesting to go to Cleveland because we stayed so far north that we basically just like stayed on the southern end of all of those lakes.
Oh yeah.
And so all these town names that I had heard of, they were all up there, and I'm like, oh, that's where this is, and we're not that far from here, and da da da. But yeah, we went to Cleveland, Ohio, and it looked like every city I've ever been in.
I didn't know what to expect.
They all kind of look the same.
I don't know why that is. They do though.
We got there, and it was some tall buildings, some highways, a bridge or two, and that's kind of it. They all kind of look the same.
Yeah. Well, like
Some towns have some charm, though.
No hate on Ohio.
No. I'm not dogging it. It's just like you get there and you just think, oh yeah, we were in St. Louis the weekend before, and this is kind of what it felt like.
It did kind of feel like that when we were walking to the concert and like back. I was like, this could be literally anywhere.
So we went to a concert, and it was in the where the Cavaliers play. I already forget what it's called. The stadium where the Cleveland Cavaliers play.
That could be a football team. That could be a basketball team.
It's basketball.
A hockey
Good
team.
job. Second guess. And a hockey team did play there. Like a minor league hockey or whatever that was.
That's pretty cool.
So anyway, we went there, and then not even a street in between them, there's the baseball stadium.
Yeah, they were connected.
Where the Cleveland Guardians, there was just like a pavilion.
They were
not
playing.
A pavilion.
The game that just started when we were going to that concert.
Yeah.
So those people at the game must have had a fucking blast.
There was a baseball game
here in that concert
happening, and then I'm talking 50 yards. I mean, it was so close.
Yeah, it was so close. The amount of the line of people waiting for that concert and the people that were hanging out before that baseball game must have been a fucking mess. When we got there, it was already busy because people were still going to the game and the concert.
Yeah.
But it's like, I can't imagine 30 minutes before the doors open for both sides.
For both events.
It must have been fucking, and then both sides were looking at each other going, "The fuck is that over there?" And they're going, "Fucking, who's that over there? Is it a baseball jersey?"
We'll say this: we went to Greta Van Fleet.
If you don't know who they are, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. If you're leaving early to beat traffic, go fuck yourself.
That's a reference. If you weren't there, you weren't there.
You weren't there. You weren't there. But this is not a dog on anybody because I loved it. But people dress up for Greta Van Fleet a certain way. There's lots of glitter and rhinestones and flowy mesh and capes
and wings
and the flare pants and it's
moons.
It's incredible.
It's the best.
It is so fun. Like the group of people that go is the coolest people in the world.
Yeah.
And then you have this baseball game again, not even a football field away, and the you can hear the crowd roaring and you can see people walking around with beers and hot dogs, and we're just standing between these two places, and you're like, this is so strange.
Yeah.
But it was kind of like
us.
It was super cool.
People that were there, because I don't give a fuck about baseball.
Yeah, you don't care about baseball,
and you hate music. So
no.
I was on one end of the spectrum, you were on the other, and then Mom was like, she was doing like the Kelsey mom thing where she's trying to do both.
She had the split shirt, she had the jersey,
she had
the cape,
Ohio jersey on, and she had a picture of Josh Kriska's face, and glitter and stuff.
Yeah. And shout out to Missy who went with us.
Yeah,
we
Missy,
had a
what's up?
freaking blast. But the that was a really funny. I have a video of it of like the baseball game going on, and you can just hear baseball. You can just hear it, and then you kind of swipe over to this concert of they're so I don't even know how do you describe them. They're so what's the word like ethereal,
Ethereal. Their
ethereal.
music is extremely
They're so
yeah.
poetic, and they just fucking they're so talented, and they just jam, dude.
They're the most talented musicians I've ever seen in person.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure. For
By
sure.
far.
And I've seen Jeff Dunham 3 times.
The Christmas special. I had a freaking blast. That was the last American.
That was their last stop on their world tour. The last American stop.
American stop, and then now they're going to Europe here in a month or so. But that's why we went.
See you there.
Yeah.
See you in Brussels.
That's why we went, and we didn't. It's so funny when you tell people about, especially if they don't know who Greta Van Fleet is. They're like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, we're going to Cleveland for a concert." And they go, "Couldn't get it closer?" And you're like, "No, actually, I couldn't, and this is so worth it."
Well, the one I went to before was in Texas, so actually this one was closer than the
yeah,
Texas
slightly
one.
closer. But
like a 45-minute.
You also went and saw
in
Dub
distance.
and family, so like there's something to it.
Yeah.
We just drove to Cleveland. We were in Cleveland for like 12 hours.
Yeah, not even that probably.
We were in, like almost exactly. Like we ate supper, we went to the concert,
woke up the next morning and left. Stole as much tea as we could out of the hotel lobby.
Yeah, it's good though.
Fucking got out of there fast, man.
Yeah, I had so much fun.
That was a good trip.
Yeah, I had so much fun. They're incredible.
Yeah.
They are so fun to watch. And I was telling you a little bit earlier about I had kind of gotten away from thinking celebrities are this higher, being or whatever.
Right.
But you watch them perform, and I immediately put them all on a pedestal. Sorry, I'm getting choked up. It was so special.
You need to calm down, man.
They felt so cool.
Yeah.
And that's the best way to say it. They just seemed so cool.
They seem dorky.
They're kind of dorky.
Just fun.
They're funny.
I've never seen Josh have so much fun on stage as he did
the lead
that night.
singer.
Yeah. He was going back and forth.
He was like running away from the spotlight.
He has a good time, but yeah, I've never seen that game he was playing with the spotlight guy. That was funny.
Yeah, but
such a good time.
They're fun, and they're small town guys. Like they come from a town of like 5,000. So
Frankenmuth, Michigan. Yeah.
So they're very.
That's by the way.
They're similar in age.
My like facts of them. That's where it ends right there.
Yeah.
Because because you were like, I gotta follow their Instagram. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that.
No, I don't.
Shit.
I follow Greta Van Fleet's
I follow
Instagram.
their Instagram when I know their new music is coming out and stuff like that. Again, the whole celebrity thing.
Mm-hmm.
If I saw them in person, if they were then like sitting across the table from me, I'd be extremely nervous.
Oh, I'd be freaked out in a good way.
Yeah. They're just so talented. I'd have Sam stand over by the piano. I'm like, you gotta be at the piano.
Yeah, you gotta be at the piano.
You gotta be making piano music the whole time.
That was what I was going towards. Is they seem so cool and like charming, and they're wearing badass outfits, and they're just killing it. And I'm not being silly,
so
but
confident.
Like, they just take their clothes, like their shirt off. They don't fucking care. They just didn't care, dude.
Yeah.
They were just having fun and enjoying themselves. And then you realize how good they are at playing music and how good Josh is at singing. And you're like, oh yeah, they're even better than like.
I wish they would put like Josh's or Jake's 20-minute guitar solos on the albums.
Yeah, just on an album.
Because I would listen
Danny's
to it.
Drumming.
Oh my God, Danny's drumming is so good.
Danny getting his moment to drum while they were setting up the stage in front of us was like, you go.
I love that part.
Holy shit! Like how?
Because he just goes and goes and goes. He's like switching to his like different drum sets around him.
He
does like
went to those little
the electric drums.
Yeah,
and he has like the chimes and everyone. Dude, when he does the wind chimes. People freak the fuck out. They go, "Oh God, the chime!" Like, people go crazy.
Well, because there's that camera, because they have two screens. That camera that just kind of sits on it, and you're like, "He's got to play the chime." Like it's right there. It's in the center screen. Like he's got to play the chimes.
Yeah.
It was such a fun show. Like it was so enjoyable.
Mm-hmm. I had a great time, man.
Yeah, I really really enjoyed it. I hope I hope I can go to another one when they finish the Starcatcher tour, and then
I kind of want to go to Europe.
Come back around. Man, that would be an adventure.
All the gobbing though would upset me. If I went to like their London show, I'd get upset by that.
All the what?
Gobbing. I'm sure they still do that. I'm sure it's still a thing they do in the UK.
Gobbing.
Started back in the 70s, like punk scene. Uh, it basically is like if you're performing and like you get a British crowd or UK crowd in front of you, if they don't like your music, they're gonna spit all over you, like spit. Like
The
you're
crowd?
like yeah. Like you're leaving the stage and someone's gonna don't get a bucket of water dumped on your head, and you go no, it's all spit. And it's the thing though, if they
Ew.
like you, they gonna spit all over you. If they're neutral about you, they gonna spit all over you. Gobbing is like they just gob, man. That's what they do. I don't know if they still do that. Let me know. mellowbrickroad.podcast@gmail.com. Do the UK still gob musical performers? Look it up. It's weird.
I had never heard of that.
Yeah, I think it was oh man, who's the guy from? I think. Oh, I can't think of the musicians from not the Cramps.
Oh, I'm not gonna be able to help you.
Hang on, give me 5 seconds to look this up real fast.
One, two. No. The last thing about Cleveland is we had good food, and honestly, where we stayed, kind of like I don't know, 15 minutes, not even outside of the city, like just kind of off the city, was like its own little village.
Yeah,
There was like coffee shops and restaurants, and um,
there
there's
it
a
is.
movie theater connected to it, but it was all within walking distance. Like there were roads, but it was all connected with little alleys and stuff. It was really cool.
It's the Stooges is the band. Oh, I can't think of the lead singer of the Stooges. Oh man, I feel so dumb. I really hope there's people in their 70s yelling at me
People
right
are
now.
screaming at the.
Oh man, that's so upsetting. Iggy Pop. It's Iggy Pop. Haha. Everyone go fuck themselves. It's Iggy Pop. He got off stage and he was like, his whole shirt was like, he had to change shirts. It was soaking wet. I think it was someone in the Stooges. His name was like Rat or something. Not even joking. His name was like Rat, and he's the one that like started doing that, the gobbing. He's the gobber. And he doesn't like being known as the guy that started gobbing, but like he is.
Yikes.
Yeah, Iggy Pop. He's a rock god. See, when I think of rock god, I think of Iggy Pop, because there's a picture of him back in the day when he like did a stage dive,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, oh, it was in the middle of a set. He's like, I gotta go back to the stage, right? So yeah, no, don't put, yeah, good, search it, yeah, that right there. He was walking on their hands instead of like being carried.
How have I never seen
He
that?
walked him. They walked him back to the stage. He was walking over people's faces and their hands like that. That's a rock god right there.
How have I never seen that image?
That's
That is
a rock
so
and roll
cool
god.
looking.
Iggy Pop is a rock god.
That's fucking cool looking,
Yes, dude. That is one of the coolest shit. That's the picture right there. That's the picture right there. And they're like reaching for his dick and stuff. God damn
His
it,
pants
dude.
are like unbuttoned.
Iggy Pop was
literally.
he was so fucking good, man. That would have been a crazy show to see him live. The Stooges and all those guys. Stooges,
Wow.
Suicide, the Cramps, the Kinks, Blue Oyster Cult, all those and you can see them now, like they're old now, but
Right.
how would you want to see them now?
Yeah, that's kind of a thing that's been going. Like we were at that show, and it was before it started. They were running, like upcoming events on the little screen, and it was like Kiss, the final tour,
Yeah,
and there was another one that was literally called like the last.
the Eagles, the final
Yeah,
final goodbye.
Yeah, it was like they had the same exact farewell tour name, but it was the Eagles.
It's like the Kiss's 5th farewell tour.
Yeah, they've done this before.
Fuck off.
I'd be tired of that makeup, man.
I don't know. I mean, again, Dianne Feinstein, right? It's like Dianne Feinstein.
Yeah,
Iggy Pop's not gonna stop. He's not gonna stop.
Right.
I mean, he's still a fucking rock god. People are still buying it. Fucking keep doing the shows, I guess.
Yeah, if the tickets are selling, shit. I mean, that's the thing.
Tickets are selling, and you still
really,
want to do it.
If you really enjoy it,
Do it, man.
yeah, do your thing, I guess. But it's a little bit different than what we started at. Like, if you're not benefiting other people, then it's kind of hard to have that
Yeah.
same energy from me to be like, yeah, keep doing your thing. You're fucking, screwing people. I don't know.
Let's see, dude. Do we even have anything else to talk about?
I don't.
I don't even know how we got off. We started talking about. We started talking about like politics and age, and we just kind of got wrapped up in all kinds of different topics today.
Yeah,
It's been a winding path.
Yeah.
I think.
It's been a good one though. I think I want to end with this piano clip
Oh,
that
that's a good idea.
that you sent us
That's a
because
good idea.
just because Sam of Greta Van Fleet was so good on the piano, but he was at one point he was playing both. He was playing the piano and the electric keyboard or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he sat.
Wait.
It was Eld.
Oh, Sam. Okay. For a second, I
Right,
thought you were talking
Sam?
about. I thought you were talking about Danny for a second. I was
Sam.
like, wait a second. Danny didn't play
But
the
then,
piano.
and then at one point, Danny went and picked up a guitar, and I'm like,
I did not know. I think he probably did that when I was in Texas watching them,
just didn't.
but I just didn't. I
realize
either
it.
like didn't realize it. We were also on a different side of the stadium, so like, he could have
Right.
been like his back could have been to me, and he could have been doing something else.
Yeah.
But or I just
we
forgot.
had a great view of.
I don't
that.
have the best memory.
So at one point he had the
go grab
piano here, and the keyboard.
No, I'm not gonna leave yet.
The keyboard.
I'm
not
not
fucking leaving.
I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold it.
Where he's playing both. I was so impressed with that. But anyway, there's this clip of what's his name?
This guy's name is Paul Barton.
Paul Barton. Yeah, you want to take over? You sent me this, but
Yeah.
I am so. I love this.
I got it right here in front of me. So Paul Barton, he was a pianist. This guy is one of those like world class pianists. He performed in front of the halls of Yorkshire, like a packed room. He was, he was an up and comer, big time pianist. He was gonna be like in all these great halls and performing for all this money and accolades, stuff like that. He decided to trade all of that away, put it all in, and he moved to the jungles of Thailand, right? And the first time you hear people doing that, you're like, this guy likes to fuck little boys. No, not this guy, not Paul. He's not doing the red district of Thailand. Is that what happened to Thai, like the lady boys?
Yeah, lady boys.
Yeah. Okay, so he's not doing that, I don't think. Paul, he is taking a beautiful piano,
Mm-hmm.
and at least in this video, and he basically performs in the jungles of Thailand. He performs these beautiful
Next to a river.
musical pieces for an audience of blind and handicapped elephants. So like, because elephants do this weird thing, when like one of them is dying, it just like it goes.
Mm-hmm.
It does its own like it's almost like giraffes do the same thing. A lot of animals do that. Cats do that, where they just leave, and because they're they're hurting the tribe now because they're not and so this guy, I don't know why he did this, but
I don't either.
He just got this feeling in his inside that he needed to do this, and he performs this music for these elephants that have nothing. And it seems like watching the video, it seems like they really enjoy it. You can tell because he has a lot of these videos on YouTube. You can look him up, Paul Barton. I'll put it up here.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just it's so interesting because you can see the elephants in the videos, and you can tell they're like not only listening, but you can tell they're enjoying it.
Well, they're not moving. Like they're so engaged with it, and you're like, this is strange.
It's very strange.
That it's so curious or whatever the situation. But like the video we have to look at is so. I don't know. I mean, literally, it's a guy with a piano next to a river. You can tell it's in a jungle, playing the piano, and this elephant just standing there.
Yeah, maybe the elephant's like just is looking at it, and he's looking at the piano, and he's like, "Wait a second." He's like, "What is this thing? What is this you're hitting?" And he's like, "It's a piano." He's like, "Right. I feel like, what's it made of?" And he's like, "It's wood, And the elephant's
ivory.
like, "Yeah, I could have sworn I've heard a phrase tickling the ivories. What are those white keys made of?" And the guy's just like, limestone."
Yeah. It almost. I don't know why I'm like killing the heartwarming part. It almost looks like the elephant's like keep playing.
Keep playing. He got a gun to his head.
Yeah, he's like, don't stop.
He's got a tusk right to his head. It's like, you fucking stop.
Yeah.
That was my uncle's
But
horns.
You made
antlers.
a comment.
Tusks. Jesus.
Yeah, you made a comment about it'll rest its trunk. The elephant will rest its trunk like on the little ledge next to him, not on the piano.
Elbow.
Yeah, and it's almost like he's like comfortable, and he's like, oh, this guy's pretty good. I'm gonna hang around for a minute.
He must have a grade A piano tuner with him as well, because it's humid as fuck in the jungles of Thailand, I'm sure. So that piano is probably constantly going out of tune. Oh, he took up being a music teacher in Thailand.
Okay,
he was teaching
cool.
music in Thailand.
So he's
Met
doing
his
that in his
wife.
free time.
He ended up staying there permanently after meeting his wife. Oh, here we go. She was a wildlife artist, or she is a wildlife artist. So that's
so
how he
she
got
needs to
into.
be
That's kind of how he got into like
very
being
cool.
out there. Yeah, yeah. See, this is what we need. We need context. People just drop in these videos of this guy just like threw his whole life away and went to Thailand to play music for elephants. That's not what happened. He had a big YouTube presence on YouTube, obviously, with his teaching. 'Cause he was teaching music, and then he started doing these. Still a great guy. Not. I don't want to take anything away from him. It doesn't negate anything he's done or doing, but it's not like he just was like, I'm out of this elite piano playing world. I'm gonna go
Yeah, his
sit in a
life just
river.
kind of directed him that way.
It just kind of happened that way. Yeah, it's just how everything else works too, you know. So
Somebody read your mind. Keeping a piano tuner fully employed out in
Yep.
that humidity
there you go, right there, man, right there.
might be better off with an electric keyboard. And then somebody said, "The river?" Question mark. Um, yeah, that's really cool. I think it's just like a really cool image of just him there
Just a guy.
and an elephant. I mean, I
Just-
can't imagine an elephant standing over my shoulder.
It's just relaxing.
Yeah, and that river's just slowly
Oh
going
yeah, the elephant over
by.
your shoulder. That'd be. Especially if you're playing, all of a sudden like a trunk just slides over, and you're like, oh god.
That's just so. I don't know. That's just such a cool video.
They couldn't help but notice the elephant's tusk isn't like pointed. So
It's
I'm wondering,
cut,
like,
yeah.
did he cut off pieces of the tusk to form his piano? Like, did he build that
No.
piano himself? You know?
I was reading some of the comments. Some people said it's a certain sanctuary in Thailand, and so they're that could be, it was already poached and somebody cut it. You never know.
Right.
I mean, we don't look into the full detail of this. I just like the piano.
I like the video. I like the music.
Piano and
Go to Paul's YouTube page. We'll put it up on here and listen to all the music. It's really nice music. It's really relaxing and peaceful. So it's good for like in the morning if you're just drinking coffee, you know, and you're reading a book or something. It's just really nice. You know, that's someone who's not. He's like, the world's going so fast. I'm over here doing my own thing.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't even know. He doesn't even realize. He doesn't even realize, that guy, how old President Biden is right now. He doesn't even realize how mad he should be about that.
Right. He doesn't. Yeah.
He should be on X, Twitter, just like, he's so old. But he's not doing that. He's so. That's how dumb he is. He doesn't even know he's supposed to be that mad.
Even if I'm reading like a sports article, they'll be like, so and so said on X, parentheses, formerly Twitter, and I'm like, really? We're doing this? We're really doing this?
Yeah.
Like the fact that you have to put formerly Twitter, it's like, oh my god, why do you want to mess with that at all? Let's not get into that.
We don't have to get into it. No, we gotta move on. We're done. We're done. Guess what, everybody? We're made it to the end of the path. Path number 68. We're here. And guess what? I know I said this last week, and I'm just excited about it. Next week, sexy episode time. I don't know what's gonna happen. We have 0 things planned, but we have a whole week to think about it. So who knows? Maybe we'll show up in lingerie. That'd be fun.
Do you own that?
Everyone, thank you so much for joining us on path number 68 of the Mellow Brick Road. It's been kind of a weird one today. It is the morning, so I'm still like,
kind of are.
Well, I think the coffee jolted me. Like, I started off really tired, and then as the coffee was like in my bloodstream, I started getting more and more heated up.
Yeah.
And so that was a little different. That's a fun little difference of scheduling we've done today.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you want to follow me, like I said before, at Van Windsor on Instagram, you can check me out there. If you want Trace, he's on T-Dub Projects on Facebook. He's got big news. Look it up.
Yeah.
Buy a shirt. Buy a hoodie.
Yeah.
Let's see. If you want to follow the show, if you want to email us answer any of our questions that we have on the show, or give us some resources, give us questions, comments, whatever, email us mellowbrickroad.podcast@gmail.com. That'll go directly to us. We also got an Instagram, Mellow Brick Road Podcast or mellowbrickroad.podcast on Instagram, or is it? I don't know why I forget.
I don't know. I think it's just Mellow Brick Road Podcast.
Mellow Brick Road Podcast on Instagram, and then Facebook is just Mellow Brick Road.
Yep.
Let's see, is there anything else that I'm missing that way? Sign up for our Patreon, obviously.
Yep.
Patreon.com/mellowbrickroad. That's where you're going to get bonus clips. You're going to get What You're Reading, our book sharing show. September episode's just about to drop.
Yep.
We're getting ready in October, so it's going to be scary episodes or books from then on. Let's see, what else we got going on?
Go to Spotify, answer questions and polls.
We got Spotify questions and polls. Make sure to answer those. Engage with us. Let's get married, audience. And then we all Spotify polls. We also have YouTube. We got clips on YouTube. We got the video on YouTube. Hello. Make sure to follow us on that. Subscribe, and then we also are on Amazon Podcasts or Apple Podcasts as well.
Yeah.
Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, maybe. I can't remember if we're on there. Amazon Podcast. I think that's a new thing that I just got. So Amazon Podcasts, I believe, is new. I think that's everything. Any closing thoughts at all?
If you're leaving early to beat traffic, go fuck yourself.
Mellow manifestations, everybody.
Peace and blessings. I don't feel like Mason said much this episode.
He's fucking fired.